Alrighty. So you're looking for new games to play here in 2026, and you stumble across a game called Unison League by A Team, and you want to know if it's worth playing. A lot of games nowadays are really fast paced games where you don't know what'll happen in 6 months, whether or not they'll still be around. If you start investing in the game, are you going to stay with it or are you going to leave? And that's a really big question. Your time is worth a lot. And dedicating it to the right game or the right experience can completely it's a big deal. I mean, people only have so much time in the day, and the question is Unison League worth playing in 2026? So, I will not sugarcoat it. As a new player, it's probably the worst experience possible. You have to go through a bunch of unnecessary normal quests and upgrade gear and do all of these things. Here, I'll log in and show you. Alrighty, so once you log in, you basically have to do a bunch of these normal quests. And there are 3 chapters, and each one, as you can see, has an incredible amount of quests. And you have to do these not because the gear is good, the gear is garbage most of the time. I mean, when you get to the later stages, the some of the gear is super unique, so it's worth keeping. But you're basically just doing this for gems. And the way that this game works is you will have a beginner spawn over here. Completely ignore that. Don't spend any gems on it. The real spawns are all of the ones that have the highest cost you can find. So this one has 45 cost, this one has 45 cost, this one has 45 cost. So your best bet is that right now the highest cost is 45. So the old procs are pretty much bad. I mean, like, they're just outdated. So you really want new procs, you really want newer gear, and you need new monsters. The way that this game works is pretty simplistic. You are a singular character, and usually you would do something like an event quest, and usually you would group up with other people. So you would go in and you would be all right. Here, I'll just do it. Even though I don't need to do it, I'll just do one of these quests. So usually you would come in like this, and let's see if I can find anyone. Are they still doing this quest? They should be. Well, you would come into a quest, usually the top one, and you would say, okay, I want to do this quest. And then you would wait for people to join. And you are just one person. Usually there are 5 people that will participate in a match. And then you'll have cost at the bottom and unison. Now, I did want to touch on some things. Those quests that you do as a new player are really, really tedious. You constantly have to be updating your gear and updating your abilities. And most players will quit before they complete the tutorial. Now, the tutorial is not a good representation at all of the actual game. The actual game is incredibly fun and very, very connected. You're constantly playing with other players. With a lot of these quests, you usually can't complete them alone. So you're doing them with other players. So as you can see, I have this cost bar down here. Each ability has some amount of cost that you can see in the bottom. And then you use the ability. And this is real time. Each of these players is an individual person who is playing in real time. And that's what makes this game super special. There is so much real time, so many real time events and situations in this game. I really don't like a lot of games because they're not real time. The PvP isn't real time. The guild battles aren't real time. There's nothing in the game that's real time. And so once you gain, sorry, we're changing topics. Once you gain 100 uni, you can use special monsters. Somebody uni down me. So you can use these monsters and they'll give you buffs. So for example, I can throw this monster here and we will gain buffs. And as you can see, other people are joining in too. So this is it's a community game. Each one of these people is a real player. They've chosen one class. They're all participating in a real battle right now with me, and they're all using unique monsters that they own. This is a super, super unique game. There's no other game like it, really. But I won't sugarcoat it, and I won't say, oh, playing as a new player is super easy and it's super fun, because playing as a new player is the worst experience in the entire game. And it's really, really unfortunate. I created a little list to keep me on track, but just the number of quests is way too much for new players. I think I have been playing on my new account, which I'm creating a whole series on what to do as a new player and how to get past all of these barriers. And that is taking me, I'm on day 4 and I'm about 1/3 of the way done with the normal quests. So just to put it in perspective of how many quests there are and how difficult it really is to get past all of that garbage. And then once you get past the garbage, then you have to start spawning and it becomes even harder. So there are way too many normal quests. There's also not enough gems at the early stages to get everything. You want to constantly spawn, but the truth is you will be lacking in gear. So the way that this game works is each player will have a certain number of cost that they can allocate to each section. So you have swords, helmets, armors, and monsters, and each weapon will have a cost association with it. Over here on the right, this one says 43. And you see it 43, 43, 44, 45, 45. And the higher the cost, the more stats it'll give you. And then on top of that, you can only equip up to 10 pieces of gear. Each piece of gear has a proc on it, something that will happen every once in a while. And when you use uni monsters, this usually increases in damage and stuff like that. But this one increases my ability power, crits, and does all this stuff. I make videos when new stuff comes out to help new players decide if it's worth it. So if that's something you're interested in. And then all the defense gear has some kind of thing to it as well. This one is a really good defensive gear. And there is no difference really between the hats and the armors. They basically do the exact same thing. And then monsters, you can equip up to 10 of them. And they do special buffs. Usually they give you really, really strong buffs. Like this one's really straightforward. It increases your stats by 180%, gives you a chance to do way more damage, increases your damage, and then applies a field. And you'll get a hang of this. I mean, it is really, really complicated. And there are lots of classes. There's 5 extra classes and 5 basic classes as well. There's a lot of flexibility. Each class has tons of abilities. As you can see, just an incredible amount of abilities. And you can only equip 5 abilities at a time. So this game is incredibly fun because it's so in-depth. I'm still scrolling. There's so much to do. But as a new player, it can be really overwhelming. So I help to bridge that gap. Another thing that new players struggle with is they're not sure what to do. There's a lot of different places to go, and it can be really confusing as to what should I be doing in this very moment. And a lot of players will give up before they even get to the fun part. There are very few gems early on. I kind of talked about that. You would like each of these spawns usually takes about 600 gems to really knock out. And when you're done with the tutorial quest, you can do about one spawn. And that's not enough to set you up for life. But I make videos on how to do that. And there are occasionally monsters, like this one, that are really good for new players. And so if you can get this monster, you can, and you only need really one monster, right? You can only use one monster at a time. So as a new player, you only need one good monster, and then you can focus the rest on gear. And over time, you will accrue a lot of good gear. Even as a free-to-play player, you can play this game and have a lot of fun. There are unclear objectives. And once you get past the early stages, if you're doing a really, really hard quest, like for example, this one is a really, really hard quest, people die in this quest. In fact, if you're just a regular player, like I know people who have been in my guild and they have struggled to complete this quest, and you have to do it a bunch of times. And they're longtime players. They've been playing for years and they're getting one shot by some of these monsters. So sometimes as a new player, your gear score is really, really low. This is the number that quantifies all of your equipment stats. This number goes up constantly as a new player. But as a new player, it's going to be really low. It's going to be somewhere between 1 million probably and 2 million. And people will just kick you from parties. And it's not fun. It's on Japanese Unison League, it's way, way better. They don't kick people. They're much friendlier. I mean, obviously, if it's a super difficult quest, then they might kick you. But generally speaking, they won't. In global, though, they will kick you. And you may not even understand why you're getting kicked. And it can be really frustrating as a new player. I mean, I know because I make new accounts every once in a while. And even though I'm an experienced player, they can't see my experience. They just see my gear score and they can kick me. So just be aware, it's kind of annoying. Now, the reasons why I love Unison League, we just did a real life battle, but there are guild battles that happen 3 times a day. You are essentially with 9 other people, so 10 people total, and you are fighting. And I can actually show you this because there's a tournament out. So there, every once in a while, okay. Let me back up. Let me back up again. Every day you fight 3 people. So today we're fighting these 3 guilds at these times. You have to show up at those times in order to fight in the guild battle. The guild battle itself is the only thing that you should really log in for if you're like as a requirement, because it gives you daily gems and weekly gems. So you get daily gems for doing them, and then I've already completed them, but you get weekly gems as well, just for doing that. Now, every once in a while, they'll do what's called ranked guild battles, which is it's essentially the same thing as regular guild battles, and then which we ranked well, the top 36 players, top 36 guilds make it into what's called the Guild Grand Tournament, which is this, and this is a special guild battle. And so, for example, we were down here and we beat 1, 2, 3 guilds before we managed to get kicked out. But this is an idea of what it looks like, what a guild battle looks like. So you'll have 5 people on the right side, 5 people on the left side. So your team versus their team. At the top, you have an HP bar, and there are 2 different bars, your HP bar and their HP bar. The goal is to go to crystal to lower their HP bar. And we're going to see that. In order to do that, you need to kill, see these 5 diamonds at the top? You need to kill 5 of the opponents in order to get to crystal. So right now, they're trying to uni so that they can buff up So usually round one, you're racing to get uni as fast as possible. Then you're throwing your unis, and now the left side is going to be trying to kill the right side to prevent them from one-shotting the crystal, and the right side is going to be trying to swap out to players that will do more damage and buffing so that they can kill the crystal in one go. But there are 10 people, 5 people on the front line, 5 people in the back line, and these are super, super fun in the moment. There's a ton of stuff going on, and the strategies that go into these are incredible. People spend days building strategies and testing strategies. We build our strategies. We spend about probably during the Guild Grand Tournament time, probably 4 hours a day building strategies between multiple of us. And so this is the crystal. This is how you lower the HP, and you only have 40 seconds. So you have 40 seconds to kill it or do as much damage as you can, and then you would come back out of the crystal. If you didn't one-shot it, they're gonna one-shot it. But this is what it's like, and this is a real-time battle between 2 guilds. So every single person here is playing at this time. When this was recorded, every single person is playing, and it is the most fun experience. This goes into what I wrote down earlier, but this is a community game. I have made lifelong friends playing this game, and it is so much fun. The really what keeps you playing this game is the community that you build, and it's incredible. I'll get to how to get into community and all that stuff. But one of the other things that people really, really enjoy are super difficult quests. There are some, like this one's pretty difficult, but occasionally they'll release extremely difficult quests that only a few people can complete. And there's not any quests out like that right now, but occasionally they come out and they are really, really fun. There are lots of collabs. So for example, we're getting a Persona collab this year in 2026. Last year, there was a Free Ren collab. There was a Konosuba collab. There was a Night in Shadow collab. Yeah, it was this guy. Yeah. Eminence in Shadow collab. There are tons of collabs every single year that this game gets. And let's see if I can. And there's tons of, like, this is Werble is an unusual character, but he shows up in the game and you can dress up like these characters. Like, for example, those of you who are super astute will know that I'm currently dressed up as, let's see if I can. This guy from Free Ren. And I don't know why I'm blanking on his name. Anyway, but there are tons of collabs, and there have been tons of collabs. Every year, there's probably about 4 or 5 collabs. It's a lot of fun. And they're one-time deals. So it can be really, really annoying as a new player. If you wanted a specific collab, there is no guarantee that collab will come back. So yeah. One of the community. Let's go to community. So this is the community Discord, and this is where I would recommend joining. You can find guilds here, and people post about them all day long. So there's tons of information on guilds. You can join guilds and you can match whatever you can do. A lot of guilds, including our guild, which is a pretty good guild, we accept players as long as they will show up to 3 guild battles a day. They don't need to be mega whales. You don't need to spend a ton of money on this game. You can be a free-to-play player and still enjoy top tier level PvP and guild battles and stuff like that. But just be aware that, like any game, this is a smaller game and there is drama. It's really annoying. I hate it, but you can find guilds that don't have drama if that's not something you're interested in. Now, gear score, a lot of people play this game, and I started playing this game because it's super addictive early on to watch your gear score go up. Like this, I am so close to 7 mil, and I may be able to push it over the edge if I really really wanted to. I could probably infuse this one a little bit more and get some more stats out of that one, and then I might be able to swap this out for something better. And I mean, my monsters look good, but man, I'm so close. But that's one of the driving factors, is that it's really fun to watch this number go up. And it feels rewarding. It feels like an accomplishment as it goes up. Another reason why I love this game is the dailies are super, super short. You know how you log into a game nowadays and you have to do this and that and this and that, and you have to go all over the place to do all of the things, and it's really annoying. The only thing that you really need to do every single day is just show up to one guild battle. Because the guild battle is where you get the gems, and everyone cares about gems and basically nothing else. You don't need to perform a video spawn or augment. In fact, a lot of people don't even do the weekly quests, which, by the way, this is also not bad. One of the things that I love about this game is that, let's say that I wanted to do this one. I start the event. I'm going to put myself on auto. And now I'm going to go back to Discord and I'm going to look. Now, if you were playing something like Summoner's War, that would go away and it would no longer be running in the background. But Unison League is different. It runs on a server. And so when I reopen Unison League, it's going to dump me wherever the server is at. So like half of my CPUs died. But as you can see, I'm not on wave 1 anymore. I'm on wave 2 in the top left. So this game is incredibly easy to complete the dailies just because you can start a quest and then leave and you're good. You don't need to be here for the entirety, which is really, really nice. So as a returning player, there are lots of gems. So once you're basically done with the normal quest used to be the main way that players got gems in the game. And then as a free-to-play player, the gems would drop to like a trickle. Now they give gems out like crazy. There's still a lot of updates that have come out. As I said, we're getting a Persona collab this year. They just dropped a bunch of new gear that's really good. We just got as well a huge meta shift. There is Unison abilities now. So all of these abilities cost. Now there are abilities that use Unison instead of cost, and they're super, super powerful. There's a ton of updates that we're getting. And one of them is that we get tons and tons of gems, like an unnatural amount of gems. For example, last anniversary was the Japanese Unison League anniversary, which, if you don't know, there are 2 anniversaries per year. We get the Japanese Unison League anniversary and we get the global universe anniversary. So there's 2 anniversaries per year. And we're finally caught up with Japanese Unison League. So we get the exact same updates at the exact same time as Japanese Unison League. Last anniversary, we got somewhere between like 600 and 1,000 gems for free. So just logging in every single day you would have accrued about 1,000 gems, which is unheard of just as a free-to-play player. And they gave tons of drops of ether. I mean, they're still releasing, let's see if I can find it. They're still releasing greetings from the Japanese developers, and they're dropping gems, drops of ether, other useful materials. It's constant. And so as a free-to-play player, it's never been better than it is now. The game gives you so many gems, and they haven't increased the amount of gems required per spawn as much as they've increased the number of gems they're giving. There are also new Unison abilities. So they just dropped these new abilities that use Unison instead. So as you can see, it costs 15 uni to use this, and there are a bunch of them. Each class got them, and they're incredibly strong. So it's a lot of fun. The meta is changing right now, and it's excellent. It feels really good. It plays really well. I love it. You are getting excellent questing monsters. So years ago, they used to give you a bunch of these garbage monsters as the rewards for these quests. So let me back up. Each time you do a quest, like the one out right now, you get these, and you can trade them for monsters. And before, these monsters used to be garbage. You can also trade them for other things, but really you're getting the drops of ether and these fragments and stuff like that. The quartz fragments, I made a video on those. They're complicated, but they're a lot of fun and very time consuming as well. So before, these new monsters used to be incredibly garbage. You'd basically never use them, but now each of them is extremely useful. Because, for example, this is a free-to-play monster. Any monster that has 5 stars like this is a free-to-play monster. Any monster that has 4 stars in the top left like this is a paid monster. So that's how you can distinguish as a new player. But these monsters give you wind attack. And wind element will increase your damage towards water. And so these monsters are super, super useful as backline monsters. So, for example, right now, I'm trying to defeat, you can see here, this is like how you would do things. So right now I'm maxed out on time because I'm trying to defeat Star, and I have, excuse me, I have a bunch of free monsters in the back that I got from regular quests. So the amount of gear that you're getting as a new player is really, really good just from these normal quests. And it's not just the monsters, it's also the gear. So for example, returning players, you will know that reflection reduction is super important. And reflection reduction XXL used to be a requirement. It used to be super, super important, and having it meant you were a notch above everyone else. They are giving away reflection reduction XXL gear now in the free spawn stuff. So this game has changed, but it's changed for the better. And it is way better than it has ever been. And it's been out for, 13 years. It's not going anywhere. I don't think it costs very much for them to keep it running. But I love this game. There's excellent free quests. So Xenos. So if you don't know, this game runs off of a system where they give you a bunch of free gear that you have to upgrade. So this is called Xenos gear. And as you can see, the main effect is that it increases your dual blades by 30%, both the attack and magic attack. And these exist for every single element. So I have all dual blades. As you can see, the type is dual blades. So I'm boosting my damage just from using all dual blades. But there are a bunch of these. It's not just one or two. Let me fix my filter. So there are some new Sofo gears. The Sofo offensive gears are like okay, in my opinion. Really, you're doing this for the Xenos gear. And the Xenos gear used to be a really, really big pain in the butt to get. And that is because you could only get specific items at specific times. So for example, in order to upgrade this Xenos gear, you need a bunch of items, and you need a bunch of these as well. Now, these used to be things that you could only get at certain times. It's completely different now. They give away a lot of this gear, like Grand via sword quests and shield crests that you can only get in ranked guild battles and ranked guild raids, as well as they give out a bunch of gear and these legend medals, which you can also get only in ranked guild battles. They're giving away all of this stuff. And all you have to do is complete these bingo missions. So each one of these has a bingo mission, and it essentially walks you through and unlocks all of the gear that you need in order to awaken your Xenos gear. And this is super, super useful. I mean, you can get all of your Xenos gear done. And once you get all of your Xenos gear done, you'll get this quest down here. You need to awaken all of your, once you have all of your offensive gear done, then you'll get all of the Xenos gear monsters, which, by the way, I don't have easy access to. Essentially, let's see if I can find one of them to show you, but I've already completed them all, so there's nothing for me to complete. Where is he? He should be at the top, but I don't see him. Do I still have the water one? The water one. Oh, can I not? Oh, here it is. Here's one. So once you complete all of the founder monsters, you'll be able to, it's under the same thing. You'll go and complete all of the founders. Once you complete all of the founders, which is not that hard, you will get this right here. The infinite drink of enlightenment, which will allow you to freely move around your cost. Before, you'd have to spend gems to get monthly things that allow you to reduce the number of cost. Now it's infinite. You can always do this. So it's a huge quality of life change. You can play around with your gear sets now really, really freely. And the game guides you and holds your hand the entire way. You're constantly getting gear and you're constantly getting equipment and upgrades and stuff like that, gems and other things. It's super, super nice. So yeah, I mean, as a returning player, as a new player, this game is the best that it's ever been. I mean, obviously, there are still some things that could be improved, but it is the best that it's ever been. And it is super, super fun. It is my favorite game. You know, as a player that's been playing this for a long time, you see a lot of people cycle in and out. People leave and quit, and then other people will come back years later. And the reason is because this game is special. There is no game like it. It is truly a one of a kind, and I want you to join me and experience this game because it is super, super fun. Now, the last thing that I'll talk about, which is totally against Unison League's terms of service, is buying other people's accounts. From all the things that you've just heard, you may think, oh, buying an account is a smart idea. I can avoid all this stuff and I can get a head start. The truth is that you can log into any account using the A-Team thing when you first start the game. But there's no way to log somebody else out. So I'm going to give you an example. You want to buy an account and you find Bob. Bob has an account that you want to buy. So you buy the account from Bob. Bob gives you all of the login information. He says, all right, here's the login information. You change the email, you change the password, you change the username, everything changes, and now only you can log into the account. That's what you would think. But the way that this game works is different. It saves specific data, like who you were on the app data. So if you delete this game and then you reinstall the game, then you can play using your old account without any of the login credentials. So Bob sells you the account, you buy the account, Months later, you find that when you're playing the game, occasionally you'll just log out for no reason. And it constantly happens. Like when this happens, you can't log in. And it just constantly keeps kicking you out and keeps kicking you out and kicking you out. And occasionally you'll log in to find that you've completed quests that you had never done. And so you message Bob and you say, well, are you logging into my account? Are you playing on my account? Bob says, no, I haven't. I haven't played that game in ages. Since I sold it to you, I haven't logged in. And you say, that's weird. And it keeps happening. And then all of a sudden you realize that maybe Bob is still playing on your account. And you say, and you go to A Team, and you go there and you message them and you say, okay, I have this account. I own this account and I want to transfer it to a new ID, like a new number. Each one of us has a number. And because I think somebody has hacked my account and they're playing on my account. And A Team comes back and says, okay, we can do that. But here's the caveat. You need to send us every single phone that has and their mobile information. So for example, were you playing on an iPhone 6, and then an iPhone 4, and then a Galaxy 3? You need to send us all this information. Every single phone that's ever been on this account, you need to send. You also need to send us proof, multiple instances of proof that you have purchased things at different times for us to be able to help you. And so you go to Bob and you say, Bob, I need this information. And Bob says, if he's even nice, he says, okay, I'll give you all the information that I can. And you bring it back to A Team and they say, well, it doesn't seem like it's enough because we asked you, where were you playing, in 2010, for example. I mean, it's an old game. What phone were you playing on? And you say, well, I don't know. It's been so many years. And A Team says, well, I can't really help you then. And you say, well, shit, because it's and you message Bob and Bob says, truly, I have not been playing on your account. And it keeps happening. And you keep talking to Bob and Bob has purchased his account from somebody else. You didn't know this, but Bob never owned the account either. Somebody else was playing on the account before him. And then you realize that it's probably been a whole daisy chain of people who have bought and sold the same account. And at some point, somebody didn't uninstall the game and somebody is logging into your account and you don't know who. It's a really, really big pain in the butt. And I don't recommend buying new accounts for this very reason. However, with that being said, I understand why people buy accounts. So that is my 2 cents. I do not recommend buying accounts, but I understand why you would. So those are my final thoughts. I love this game and I would love for you to join me. I will catch you guys later.